Xbox announced an interesting marketing campaign last week. Sony updated the PlayStation Portal finally, and Half-Life 2 celebrates a major milestone anniversary and more in the game news today. Let's talk about all of these things. Let's get right into the Xbox news. This campaign, I don't know if you guys saw this ad. It's like a 30-second ad. I can't play it on here because it uses copyrighted music and we'll definitely get demonetized. Not that we're monetized, but we'll get struck, flagged, and all the other things. They'll probably show up and beat me. I don't know. But this is an Xbox. So this is a campaign Microsoft is attempting to show that you can play Xbox games everywhere. And then there's some comedy in here. Like this is a bento box and this is a cat box. And that's fine. I think this messaging is weird, but it might be effective in showing this. I think this should have been Xbox's ad campaign a couple years ago at this point, when they first launched Cloud and the stuff to go along with it, Game Pass for PC and all the things. I don't think it's a bad campaign. I just think it's a little misguided personally. I think it doesn't fit with kind of the current gaming narrative. Obviously, Microsoft is hoping to change that. Xbox being more than just a piece of hardware, but a platform. It makes sense. I get it. I, as a gamer, get it. But does like the every person that's just playing video games casually understand that maybe they can just get a Game Pass subscription and play games on their phone? That remains to be seen. Like I really think it's just weird. Overall, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about this. News .xbox.com, or Xbox Wire as it's known, shared a blog post talking about this campaign, about how you can play Xbox on Samsung smart TVs, Amazon Fire TV, mobile phones, MetaQuest, your laptop, your Xbox console, like all of these things are Xboxes according to this ad campaign. And they're putting this up everywhere. I mean, this is the marketing push for Xbox now. And that's cool. I get it. The phone cases, the shirts, it's neat, I guess. But I just think it comes off as kind of weird. If you see this, you understand what they mean, but then all this other stuff. If I'm wearing a shirt that says this is not an Xbox, I don't know. That's weird. The phone case is kind of funny to me. This is an Xbox. Okay, sure. I think the biggest complaint I have with this though is this feels like too little, too late. This should have been the marketing campaign again 2 years ago, and getting everybody to realize that Xbox is more than just the console. Because at this point, with Xbox and Microsoft Studios games coming to, I guess it's Xbox Studios. I don't know what the name of their studio is anymore, but their first party games coming to PlayStation. A PlayStation would be an Xbox at this point. A Nintendo Switch is an Xbox. At what point is the playing Xbox games everywhere not an Xbox? And that's where I think the messaging kind of falls apart when you start to look at it a little too closely. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the next topic, because I could complain about this way longer than I need to. It's fine. It's fine as an ad campaign. I think it's a little confusing for people that don't understand what the messaging is, and that may hurt at first. But I think once a more knowledgeable friend explains it to the friend that doesn't get it, maybe it makes sense all of a sudden. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next topic. All right, I don't like covering rumors, but this one got me, y'all. A Kingdom Hearts rumor claims a new remake is in development. It's courtesy of comicbook.com. Logan Moore over in comicbook.com. A new rumor tied to Kingdom Hearts series has claimed that a remake of a previous entry is in development. To this point, most Kingdom Hearts games have been remastered for modern platforms and are easily accessible across PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. You really should include Switch here, because it's cloud streaming and it's probably the worst way to play the Kingdom Hearts games. And that includes playing them on PS3 in the collections that they did on PS3, because the load times for some stuff for Kingdom Hearts 2 were weird and made the game play weird, right? But anyway, our entries like Kingdom Hearts 2, Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance have all been brought forward from their original versions and can be played without issue. As such, there are very few installments that have yet to be remastered, but it sounds as though Square Enix could be looking to soon port one of the last remaining games in the series to modern platforms. The game in question could be coming back is that of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways and actually said I don't care. I liked the game. It's got a great story. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Released in 2009, Days arrived on Nintendo DS platforms and was a spin-off in the Kingdom Hearts saga that centered around the character Roxas. It was later included in the remastered bundle Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix, but only in the form of its cutscenes, which have been brought into high definition. Now it's being claimed that a full remaster of Days is happening that will remake the entirety of the game. The project is supposedly being helmed by a Japanese studio Hand, or HAND, because it's all periods after it, which developed the original version of Days. Certain aspects of the game are said not to be returning, though, such as the multiplayer missions. Huge missed opportunity. This remake is then asserted to be releasing in 25, which is also when Square Enix will choose to announce it. So I don't know. The article reminds that this is speculation. This comes from 4chan. This could not be real. It may not be real. It seems like a pipe dream, but I wanted to talk about it here because if they did remaster Days, I would hope they would remaster Recoded, because both of those DS games were actually really, really fun. I played Days kind of quick, not realizing how the game like should have been played, so I feel like I blew through it really fast. But I would like to replay it proper and experience like the story in an HD format that isn't just clicking through a PowerPoint with the occasional video playing. Because that was the worst thing about the HD collections for both Days and Recoded, was just the cutscenes and not getting to play those games. Even if they had just done like a lazy emulation of the DS versions and just that's it, that's what you got to play, it would have been far better than just clicking through some cutscenes with some text on them. And then the same with Recoded. It's got some good stuff. It's got some good music. It's got some fun levels. I liked playing Recoded. Days is also one of the ones that's like a lot of people really like it because they like it, and it's a fun game. So if it's real, great, because we definitely need some more Kingdom Hearts news. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced so many years ago now. I keep forgetting that it may or may not exist at this point. It is what it is, It's Square Enix doing their thing with the Kingdom Hearts series. But yeah, a remaster, that would be great. I hope it's real, but the rumors are rumors, and maybe we'll get an announcement in January. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts news, official Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which has not tweeted in a long time, tweeted today. Yesterday, November 18th, 2024. While preparing for the launch of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, we have made the difficult decision to delay the release. We sincerely apologize to all players who've been looking forward to the release. We appreciate your patience. Please look forward to further information. And it's a bummer because this game has been teased and shown and tested like they did the beta this summer. I think it was a closed beta. It was a closed test that people were playing earlier this year, and they've decided to delay. Now, could it be a better game overall? I hope so. But it's a mobile game, and if they treat it like they did the other mobile game, where you can't even play it anymore, you just have to watch a summary on YouTube, because good luck, kid. My hopes aren't high. I would like this game to have a more lasting presence to it, maybe be more of a mainline style game than a complete spinoff, but who knows what we're doing at this point over at the Square Enix Studios. I don't know. I was kind of hoping for some good Kingdom Hearts news, and instead we got a delay. And I just want to know, is Kingdom Hearts 4 still coming out? Is this game going to be fun? I don't know, guys. It's not looking good, though. It's not looking good. Let's move on to the next topic. Roblox. Okay, I don't talk about Roblox, first of all, but as a parent who hears his friends, or his friends' kids, or his kids' friends, because it's two different groups, to be honest. But here's other kids talking about playing Roblox. Seeing this, I thought this was worth sharing. If you're a parent, this is for you. Roblox blocks under 13s from DMing others outside games amid scrutiny over child protection. I don't want to go too deep in the article, but basically, kids in Roblox could communicate freely unless locked down, And even then there were ways around it, and I mean, maybe there always will be ways around it, but at least devs the game devs themselves are taking a little ownership over that and doing their best to prevent uh further issues from popping up. Guys, it's so important to teach your kids online safety and lock down your kids accounts for as long as possible, because they don't need to be exposed to stuff. You know, they don't need to talk to people, random strangers on the internet. Why was I allowed to? It was a terrible idea, you know? So if your kid likes Roblox or wants to get into Roblox, peace of mind is there, at least in some degree, because now you can, know that if they're too young, they can't DM others outside of games, which is great. I think that it can still communicate in the game, because if like it's a multiplayer thing, they can work together and whatever. But yeah, definitely take a look at that. Basically every major game or platform has parental controls now. Look into them. It's very important that as a parent you set them up, and keep your kids safe for as long as possible. Do the things. All right, let's move on. This one hurt. I read this and got sad. Ubisoft Splinter Cell movie canceled after producer admits they just couldn't get it right, and quoted as saying that's one of the ones that got away. It's kind of a bummer. I just feel like Splinter Cell has fallen on such hard times. It did not age gracefully um, at all. The Splinter Cell movie, I remember being announced back during the Chaos Theory days. That was on the original like Xbox, PS2, and GameCube days, and they had a teaser for the movie then. They were working on some kind of live action movie or something. This comes from Eurogamer, Vicky Blake, on November 15th. It's official. Ubisoft's beleaguered Splinter Cell movie has been canceled, as reported by the Direct. The movie, which was announced over a decade ago and was set to star Tom Hardy, has been canned because the production team just couldn't get it right. So this was the thing. Splinter Cell Death Watch. The movie would have been awesome, just couldn't get it right. Script wise, budget wise, said producer Basil Iwanek. I'm sorry for butchering that name. I'm American, forgive me. It was going to be great. We had a million different versions of it. It was going to be hardcore and awesome. That's one of the ones that got away, which is really sad. Whilst undoubtedly a blow to Ubisoft and Sam Fisher fans everywhere, not all is lost, as Ubisoft still has several TV and movie adaptations along the way. On the way, the long-awaited animated adaptation of Ubisoft Splinter Cell Death Watch, is still to come. Netflix dropped off the official announcement in September, and whilst the teaser only clocked in around a minute long, it gave us a first taste of what to expect when the show finally debuts on the streaming platform. Last month, nearly a decade after its announcement, Ubisoft's Watch Dogs movie finally wrapped filming. We're still awaiting a release date, though, which is crazy. I didn't even know a Watch Dogs movie was in the works, but I've been waiting on a Splinter Cell movie forever, and now it looks like that's just not happening. That's okay, though. It's probably for the best. If they couldn't get it right, it's probably for the best that it doesn't exist. But still a bummer. Still a bummer. All right, we'll get to some good news, I promise. This is awesome. All right, Half-Life 2 fans. Valve gets the original Half-Life 2 development team back together for a huge 20th anniversary update, and the game is now free for the weekend on Steam. It's no longer free if you missed it. But this was really cool. I didn't even know it was the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2, but this game kind of changed PC gaming and first-person shooters for me. I absolutely adored my time with this game, every moment of it. So I thought it was really cool. The PC Gamer did this little write-up. Andy Chalk wrote this for us. November 16th, 24 is the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2, one of the biggest, most enduring video games of all time. To celebrate the big birthday, Valve has released a 20th anniversary update for the game, which adds Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2 to the base game, along with all new commentary tracks featuring the original Half-Life 2 development team, which is awesome that they could do that. Like, I think that is just so incredible. If you like commentary and that kind of thing, the way Half-Life has done commentary with the, like, you play through the level and interact with the thing, and it just does commentary while you're playing, I think it's super awesome. So it's definitely worth checking out if you like behind the scenes kind of stuff. But they go on to say, Half-Life 2 episodic add-ons are available directly from the game's main menu. But even better, players will automatically advance to each new expansion after completing the previous one, essentially turning them into one big continuous game, which is also crazy good for the experience. Like, it's now just one long game. which I think is way better. Instead of you having to like, okay, you finish Half-Life 2, now go play episode 1, now go play episode 2, you know. And then when you play episode 2, you get sad because it ends on a cliffhanger and there's no conclusion. But there's a lot more than just a mashup of old Half-Life 2 games here. The developer commentary, similar to the interactive commentary mode included with the Half-Life 2 Half-List to Lost Coast add-on. I think that's misspelled. I think it's Half-Life 2 Lost Coast. Anyway, it gets the gang back together to record brand new commentary tracks for the whole game. On top of that, you can get a deep dive look at Half-Life 2's development, courtesy of a new 2-hour-long 20th anniversary documentary. I may put this on like while I'm working tomorrow just to have on in the background and listen to. Covering everything from near bankruptcy to the infamous hack, the Valve hack, which is crazy, the birth of Steam, famously never finished episode 3 that has prototype footage in it. It's on free on YouTube. I do want to watch this. 2 hours long though, but still. To go even deeper than that, we're going really deep here. Valve is re-releasing Raising the Bar, an in-depth look that offers a comprehensive look into the creation of Half-Life 2. Originally released in 2004 and out of print ever since, this new edition has been updated to include content for episode 1 and 2, along with ideas and experiments for the third episode that never came to be. And the author adds, which I guess shoots down any hopes for an episode 3 surprise. Sorry. I have the original Raising the Bar, and trust me, if you're a Half-Life fan, it's basically a must read. It was super cool. It was very cool. Looks at old videos, and then the game itself got some updates, bug fixes, restoring content that was maybe moved or taken out, improve the quality of light map resolution and fog. Graphic settings have been updated and improved. Gamepad input and Steam Deck updates have also been implemented. The soundtracks are free on Steam. Ton of wallpapers. Like they really did a good 20-year celebration. It's a big update, befits a game of Half-Life 2's stature, the article goes on to say, and it goes way above and beyond just making the game better on modern systems. Getting the OG development team back together to record commentary tracks for the full game is an inspired move. We're looking forward to hearing what they have to say about it now, 20 years later. And then, yeah, it's really great. The content and the added effects and everything. Just look at this. This is a long list. We're not going to go through all this. Well, this is awesome. I definitely want to go reinstall Half-Life 2 and jump into it because that's a big list of changes. It's really cool. Let's move on to our next thing, though. Half-Life 2 is fantastic. I love it. I thought this was interesting. From Insider Gaming, Tom Henderson. Battlefield 6 is undergoing franchise's biggest playtest ever to prevent another disastrous launch. Battlefield players have had a reasonably tough time with the franchise these past few years. 2018's Battlefield 5 launch was a disaster. I wanted to say V, and it's not. It's 5. But 2021's Battlefield 2042 was worse, pushing a lot of the Battlefield fans away from the franchise. But now, with just a year until the next major installment in the Battlefield universe set to release, EA and DICE have a lot of making up to do. Basically, the game hasn't been great, and they got to do everything they can to bring people back. And it's going to be a lot of work, honestly. EA has said all the usual buzzwords you'd come to expect in its financial calls to promote the next game, from innovation to groundbreaking. An interview with IGN earlier this year with head honcho Vince Zampella confirmed Insider Gaming's past reports. The franchise is taking a back to its roots approach with 64 players, all-out destruction, and a modern setting. It looks promising on paper, yet the scars of the past still burn today with its community. And let's see, go on to say fans of the franchise are still apprehensive about the future. Considering the franchise's last two blunders, it's understandable that this time EA and DICE seem to be all in on ensuring it doesn't happen a third time. So basically, the testing and the focus is on the gameplay experience, multiplayer experience. I mean, that's what Battlefield has been strongest in. Battlefield 6 has to be a success, I think, for EA, DICE, and the devs themselves, like individually, because I think the last couple of years of releases have really burned people out on Battlefield. And Battlefield, it's interesting because I love shooters. I play a lot of them. And where Battlefield has always kind of missed me, it's how good the multiplayer is. But I'm just not the technical kind of like player that benefits from it. But I can see why people like it so much, you know? And it's one of those things, like if you like Battlefield, like you love it. and it's a really good game and you like all the things related to it, except when they miss the mark and then the multiplayer just isn't what people expect it to be, or it's really buggy and boring at launch. And there's just so many things that have happened that have ruined people's perception of Battlefield's once glorious name. And I it's good to see, but we'll have to see what happens when the game actually launches. Maybe they'll do some early open betas and stuff for people to actually get in and try it out. Hopefully. All right, let's move on to our next topic. I thought this was interesting. Rainbow Six Siege finally gets crossplay between PC and consoles, which I mean pretty much sums up the thing. It's wild to think that Siege didn't already have crossplay, especially between consoles. But with his latest update, Operation Collision Point, they're finally going crossplay between PC and console. I mean, I have said that so many times, but it makes sense. Let's see, competitive shooters are struggling with cheaters. Ubisoft apparently has a plan to protect console players from the PC cheaters. Next update for Siege adds crossplay for PC and consoles, and will also change anti-cheat. Player protection advances this season include mousetrap penalty for adjustments to account for crossplay, automatic match cancellation if a cheater is detected, and overhaul for the reputation center and AI text moderation. Interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect from that. But it's good if you have been playing Siege and need more players in your pool. Now they can get all the players across platforms to play together, and that's important because that's how you can keep a game going further. I think that's why Overwatch is still going, because if it didn't have crossplay and they had 3 different silos for where you could play, I think PC would be the strongest, but I think the console versions would not be bothered with much at all in like Team Fortress 2 fashion back in the day. But yeah, it's cool. If you like Siege, got crossplay coming up. Okay, this one surprised me. Assassin's Creed Syndicate gets a 60 FPS update on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation consoles, PS5 and PS5 Pro. Wild to think, and just out of nowhere. But here's the post. This is from Ubisoft directly. Revisit the Assassin fantasy and take down your enemies more smoothly than ever on Assassin's Creed Syndicate's free 60 FPS patch. Roam London streets in a whole new light and elevate your gaming experience with doubled frame rate on Xbox Series X and S and PS5, PS5 Pro. In addition, take a leap into a visually stunning experience thanks to 4K resolution on Xbox Series X, PS5, and PS5 Pro. Take time to discover or rediscover this classic on new generation consoles through backwards compatibility. And so there you go. Very cool. Series S runs 1080p 60, Series X runs 4K 60, and I think it's fantastic. I have yet to play this one, but now I have more of a reason to finally get around to it. And it was one that I really wanted to play when it launched, but I was so far behind in Assassin's Creed that I just kind of stopped buying them because I just got super behind. Now they go on sales so often, you can get them for so cheap. This would be a good pickup if you like the game, you like the series. Pick it up on PS5 and Xbox and play it at a better frame rate. All right, moving on. All right, this is one of the big stories. PlayStation Portal remote player experience to evolve new system update. This is from the PlayStation blog directly. This happened right before I was getting ready to start the stream earlier. But PlayStation Plus Premium members will have access to test cloud streaming for select PS5 games on Game Catalog on their PlayStation Portal. Just over a year ago, we launched our first dedicated remote play device, PlayStation Portal Remote Player, with an aspiration to deliver console quality gaming on a handheld device. The PS Portal was an ambitious product for us, and we've been delighted by the positive response from our fans and to see that our vision has resonated within the community. Today, we're pleased to announce a new system software update for PS Portal, being releasing starting later today, which will introduce refinements in the audio experience, including speaker output audio that you can adjust. But what people really want to read, like this should have been like a note at the end. Anyway, the update will also include a beta version of a new feature many fans have been asking for: support for cloud streaming on PS Portal. When the update is live, PlayStation Plus Premium members will be able to participate in a beta for cloud streaming on PlayStation Portal, allowing select PS5 games and the PlayStation Plus games catalog to be streamed directly from our servers, even without a PS5 console. So this is like the whole reason this thing should have been marketed. And the fact that it's now getting beta support for it is wild. But this gives like the PlayStation Portal much more purpose. The fact that you can now stream PS5 games to it. Now, PS4 and PS3 games are not included in this beta test, but PS5 games can be streamed directly to it from the cloud. I think that makes this a much more appealing device for people that really didn't know if they needed one. Well, now you can, you know, hotspot your phone, connect your Portal to it, take it with you, and just actually play games on the go with it. Again, this gives it a purpose. I did a whole video about like, what is this thing for? It's gotta get an update to feature cloud streaming. That's gotta be coming. I don't see what the point is of this thing. Otherwise, it's a super niche product without cloud streaming, and here we are a year later, finally getting the cloud functionality coming to the PlayStation Portal. I'm not trying to say I predicted this. Many other people said the same things. I did a whole video on this thing just because I did not see the appeal of spending what, 250 bucks on this device that could only be used on my local network at my house. You know, and I had to, you know, you already had to have a PlayStation. But here we are. This is great. If you could theoretically get this, subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium, and stream PS5 games and not have a PS5. You know, and that's a compelling offering if your internet's good enough. There you go. So again, purpose found. And that's great. That's great. It makes this thing much more useful. We'll see what happens. I hope the beta tests go well. I'm looking forward to seeing people like interact with this thing. I'd like to maybe pick one up secondhand if I can find one and mess with it myself. It'd be kind of cool. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about the game news. Let's talk about Sony some more. Sony's in talks to buy Powerhouse behind Elden Ring. So Kadokawa's shares closed up. 23% of daily limit. Sony owns shares in Kadokawa, which is From Software's owner, parent company. And Sony's focusing on entertainment such as games, movies, and anime. So with that summary, which makes no sense, let's move down. Sony's in talks to acquire Kadokawa, the Japanese media powerhouse behind the Elden Ring game, two sources familiar with the matter said, as the technology giant looks to add its entertainment portfolio. The talks between these two sides are ongoing, and if successful, a deal could be signed in the coming weeks. Kadokawa shares closed up 23% at their daily limit. Its market cap was around 2.7 billion. I mean, that's finance numbers. This is game news, not finance news. Sony declined to comment. Kadokawa said it cannot comment. Sony already has a 2% stake and a stake in From Software, the developer of the hit fantasy action role-playing game. The game is a collab. The game, which depicts an atmospheric world. We don't need to know about Elden Ring. We know about Elden Ring. Kadokawa began as a publisher in 1945, but it's expanded into games, anime, events, and figures with franchises such as Re:Zero, in which a teenage boy is summoned to a fantasy world. So yeah, the big takeaway here is Sony's looking at getting this. They would now have From Software, which means Dark Souls, Bloodborne, which I think they already own. Didn't From Software have something to do with Bloodborne? I don't know, but Armored Core and a bunch of other things that Kadokawa that they own. Obviously, this would be a major get for Sony, which is wild, but it's just the thing to do, right? We buy up other properties and then go look at all of our exclusives and look at all of our first party offerings that we literally just bought. It's like, okay, you did that. Congrats. Would they stop publishing those games, those multi-platform games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring everywhere? I don't know. Probably just not on Xbox. But as we learned earlier in the game news, your PC is an Xbox. So if it comes to PC, it's coming to Xbox. And that's where I'll leave that. Let's move on to our last thing. Let's talk about the Game Awards. Sorry. All right, so look, here's Game of the Year. This is what everybody wants to talk about. I think the other nominees, cool. I don't really like how all of this plays out every year. But this year, the Game Awards is under tons of scrutiny, and you guys have probably already seen it, but I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in. This is the nominees for Game of the Year: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, which is the DLC for Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake, and Metaphor ReFantazio, which is an all new game from Atlas and Persona, and it's, doing very well. So I'm couple of things. Balatro being an indie game, being on Game of the Year, made by one dude. That's epic. Good job, dude. Making a fantastic game. I have yet to play it. I need to play it. I know I need to play it. Black Myth Wukong. If this didn't get here, you'd know this whole show was rigged. This game is this one should be winning Game of the Year. Just personal opinion. But why is Elden Ring here? Elden Ring is a deal. The Shadow of Erd Tree is a DLC. Elden Ring won Game of the Year last year. Could it win it again? Probably. I mean, knowing how these award shows go. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, while it did deviate from the original story in Final Fantasy VII, from what I understand, this is still like the second part of Remake and still follows most of the plot of Final Fantasy VII. Like, I don't know. It just still feels like a remake being on the list is odd. So if we look, two of these things shouldn't be here. And then this is an indie game, and I'm not trying to downplay indie games, but if it doesn't win Game of the Year, I still think it should win like best indie game, which I think it is a nominee in. So, and we can look at that real quick. Best action, best mobile, best independent game. Oh, look at that. Balatro is in here. Now, it's nominated for Game of the Year. So how is it not automatically the best indie game? Which I think looking at these, I'm pretty sure this one's going to win. Just saying. Animal will be close though. I'm not going to cast my votes on any of these though. I don't like this process. The viewer user votes count for very little. The game awards I really watch for the new game announcements. I used to make a big deal out of watching every year. I really think I'm going to catch the summary. Just to be honest, I will catch the announcements after the fact. They're all just pre-recorded trailers anyway. Nothing is going to be, it's not going to be one of those, you had to be watching on Twitch chat with everybody else. No, I'm not going to watch the play. I'm not going to the event venue live. I will be watching it online. I can just skip all the things I'm not concerned about. Congrats to all the winners and the nominees, as those are decided and everything. But I just think this is just kind of, this right here bothers me the most. DLC should be in its own category, in which the developers and publisher can celebrate, hey, we made the very best DLC of the year. But this is not a whole game in and of itself. It isn't. It's much shorter than a whole game. So to be up against something like Metaphor and Black Myth Wukong and Astrobot, which are very long, full games, and to some degree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but that shouldn't be here because it's part of a remake trilogy, which is also weird. But maybe that's just where gaming is right now, right? Like, maybe that's just like kind of the state of gaming as a whole. I don't know. Remains to be seen, right? It remains to be seen. But yeah, I'm just kind of over it, guys. I'm over the game awards. It just doesn't feel as authentic. It doesn't feel like it matters as much. See, agree, DLC should not be there. Don't mind a remake. It's better than a remaster being on it. I agree. If it's a full remake, like they redesigned the game, kind of what they did with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth here. I can see the argument for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but DLC itself is just wild to me. That's just mind blowing. I don't understand that one. Either way, yeah, you guys let me know what you think of all of the Game Awards nominees down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. But that's where I'm going to leave the game news. No more talking about it this week. That's all we got time for. Yeah, thanks for being here. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, we leave you a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more game news and live streams. I live stream daily, weekday mornings 9 a.m. and then Sundays and Tuesdays in the evenings and Friday afternoons. So if you like live streams, been playing a lot of Honkai Star Rail, Fortnite, Pokemon Unite. I'm a variety streamer. There's a lot going on. But guys, let me know what you think of any of these stories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go play video games now. See you later.